stoppers. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has revealed new information about the atmosphere of an exoplanet 8.6 times as massive as Earth and orbiting a red dwarf star some 120 light years away. The telescope revealed the presence of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Webb's discovery suggests that the planet may possess a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and a water-ocean-covered surface. Researchers say their findings are consistent with the presence of a molecule which on Earth is only produced by life forms. Predictions for soybean and corn yields in Illinois continue to diminish because unfavorably dry weather has been too frequent this season. The latest dry spell, which began in mid-August, has featured periodic heat and has pushed crops towards maturity too quickly, preventing maximum yields. The regional field office of the USDA reports that 58% of the corn crop was rated good to excellent, and 58% of soybeans were rated good to excellent as well. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
When we put family first, we create moments that last a lifetime. We pass memories down through generations. We can all declare, I remember when.
Far side, right. Pat Bryant, touchdown. Isaiah Williams turns upfield, 45, 40. Trouble, he's sacked. Seth Coleman.
It's your turn to create these memories. Illinois football season tickets are on sale now for as low as $99 at fightingillini.com.
Getting around town can be a challenge for those with disabilities. SMTD's Access Paratransit makes it easy.
My name is Angela Jefferson, and I am Superintendent of Access Paratransit Services. My role here is to provide services for riders with disabilities or those who can't get to an SMTD bus stop.
And Angela, what do you love about your job?
I love that I'm able to help provide transportation for people with disabilities who would otherwise not have it.
For schedules and routes, go to smtd.org.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
92.7 WMAY.
Springfield's news and talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 77 degrees, low tonight about 47. Tomorrow sunny with a high near 77 degrees, low around 49. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 76. And Sunday, sunny skies with a high near 75 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-989-8906 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-989-8906. That's 800-989-8906. What do you have to lose? Call 800-989-8906. Again, 800-989-8906.
I think what people want from their doctors, as much as anything, is a partner in their care. I'm Dr. Chris McDowell, a physician with SIU Medicine. Our clinical excellence is unmatched in the region. We're home to the latest technology, the best people. But what sets us apart is our commitment to our patients. Being there for them as a partner, a supporter, as an advocate, and even a neighbor. That's what makes SIU Medicine so unique. Learn more at siumed.org.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Still no updates for Illinois' gun and magazine ban lawsuits in the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, awaiting some kind of ruling so that either the plaintiffs challenging the law on Second Amendment grounds or the defendants, being the state, trying to work to uphold their law, advancing to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's the next step, at least in that case. We're still waiting on that. We're also anxiously anticipating the October 11th hearing in the Southern District, challenging the vagueness issues of Illinois' gun and magazine ban. And coming up, we'll flash back to December of last year, where Illinois State Police Director Brendan Kelly was asked about how he's going to enforce and set up the gun registry as part of the law that ultimately did pass. So a little bit of a flashback coming up, but we wanted to also get you updated on the latest out of New Mexico, where the lawsuits are stacking up against their governor's effort to curb the Second Amendment using executive orders. Welcome back. Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. So, of course, you've got this ongoing issue in New Mexico where the governor there decided to ultimately prohibit the carrying of firearms, either concealed or with permit. And the lawsuits are starting to stack up there with Michelle Grisham's order to suspend formal carrying. And people have shown up to essentially say they're not going to comply. And people are carrying their firearms, open carry and concealed carry in various places. Not everybody, but those are doing that, are doing it in protest, especially because Democrats, local law enforcement, the sheriff and a mayor and a state's attorney, they all say that this is just unenforceable, and a variety of other high-profile Democrats saying that this is unconstitutional. So you've got the mix there of priorities as to how we curb gun violence, as they say it, or how we go about enforcing violent crime laws, which obviously is something already on the books, but is it being done enough? Or are we looking at things more through a social justice lens to try to bring about different outcomes without holding people accountable? That's more of the really truly substantive debate that needs to happen when it comes to curbing violent crime. But too often you've got certain influences saying, oh, it's gun crime, and then they want to focus on the firearm or the tool rather than on whether or not there's been substantive enforcement of violent crime laws already on the books. But anyways, you've got the constitutional question being filed by a whole host of different groups, including the Second Amendment Foundation. You've got National Gun Rights Association, Gun Owners of America, and even the Firearms Policy Council, which announced yesterday on Twitter that they've actually got a hearing set for today in their case. So they say on Twitter, legal update, a hearing on our motion for a temporary restraining order has been scheduled for tomorrow. This was yesterday at 1 p.m. So 1 p.m. New Mexico time, FPC is going to have their temporary restraining order question brought up in a court. So we'll see what happens with that case. But obviously, things are ongoing with New Mexico while we sit here and wait for any kind of outcome from the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals on the challenge to Illinois' gun and magazine ban. So flashing back now to December of 2022, it was the last of several hearings that the Illinois House held about a proposed ban on certain semi-automatic firearms and magazines and creating a registry. This was about 2 weeks or so before they ultimately did pass it, and the governor enacted it on January 10th. But it was a hearing featuring a variety of different voices. You had gun rights activists saying that you can't ban these firearms. It would violate the Constitution. It would violate Supreme Court precedent. You also had gun control advocates talking about the victims and how they need to be thought about in this entire conversation. But you also had questions at this hearing back on December 20th with Brendan Kelly, the Illinois State Police Director, and he was asked about enforcement of setting up that gun registry that actually opens in about 2 weeks here in Illinois, where October 1st is the date they're going to open the registry. And then by January 1st, if there is ultimately no registration from a firearms owner, then they could criminal penalties. Well, how is all this going to be enforced? And that was ultimately the question posed to Brendan Kelly back on that hearing date of December 20th of 2022. And here's how he responded to those questions.
Anytime the Illinois State Police have had any issues complying with statutory things, it's because we've had instability. You can look at the funds that were swept in 15 and 17 that created some instability within the Firearms Safety Bureau, and that led to, in part, some of the backlogs we had with avoid and concealed carry. We are well within the statutory timeframes now because we've had stability. Stability in that funding, with the ability to plan for hiring, the ability to plan for new technology to be implemented, and that has allowed us to bring those numbers down. My feeling is the Illinois State Police, you give us enough resources, we can put a man on the moon, if that's what the General Assembly wants us to do. Looking at the mission that is outlined here within this bill, we believe we can accomplish that, and we'll be able to answer ready so long as we have that support and those resources.
I presume there's hundreds of thousands of these listed firearms legally owned today, and if this passes, they won't be. How are you going to enforce compliance?
It's Republican leader McCombie.
And that will be part of our normal enforcement efforts. When we find something that is not in compliance with the law, either because it's a prohibitor or it's a ghost gun or it's a switch or whatever the case may be that makes it unlawful, that will just be one of the categories that our folks will be enforcing as they come across these firearms. But in terms of the individuals who that will be allowed to retain them and they'll be allowed to keep them, that's what some of those additional resources will need for the unsworn personnel to set up essentially kiosks to make it convenient for folks to be able to do the process that's outlined in this legislation, so they can keep those. The information is on file with the Illinois State Police pursuant to this statute. That'll be less of an enforcement mechanism and more of a compliance mechanism.
So less of an enforcement mechanism and more of a compliance mechanism, meaning that they're just going to be looking for people to comply with this, not necessarily going out and enforcing it. At least that was the sentiments from the Illinois State Police back in December before the law ultimately passed. Now, here we are just about 2 weeks or so before the October 1st opening of the window for registration, filing an affidavit, or if you don't do that by January 1st, you face criminal penalties, a Class A misdemeanor for the first offense and up to a Class 3 felony for second and subsequent offenses. We'll find out all of the rules in short order. They got until October 1st to publish those rules on an emergency basis, and then those go in front of the Joint Committee Administration on Rules, the Joint Committee on Administrative Rules, JCAR. So these things are going to be coming together here in the next couple of weeks, and we will be one of the only outlets out there that will be covering this in detail. So guarantee that, all right? So stay tuned. A ton more coming up on this issue, not just here in Illinois, but elsewhere throughout the country. It is Springfield's Morning News, 6:20. Let's take a look at the forecast. It's a bit chilly out there. It's a bit chilly out there with the high today of around 77 degrees. We're looking at a low of 47. Right now, though, it's 50. Thursday, the high of 76 with sunny skies, and then Friday, we're looking at 78, the high. Saturday, the high of 75, partly sunny, and Sunday, sunny skies, the high of 75. Again, 50 degrees now at a 620 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here, because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Cons a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Our neighbors to the west in the Show Me states approving legislation, and the governor there, Mike Parson, signing a bill called the SAFE Act, which limits the procedures that minors who identify as a different gender are able to get. And it all depends, of course, on the individual's age, as to, hormone therapy or different types of medical procedures, surgical procedures. So they're signing, of course, moving forward with that, and that has taken effect August 28th. Well, Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about this late last week. We're just now able to get to it, but we'll hear what he has to say about this issue in Missouri and what Illinois' sentiments are, at least according to the governor. But some Illinois Republicans responding to this overall issue of gender reassignment surgery or hormone therapy for minors, people under the age of 18. So what did Governor J.B. Pritzker have to say about the Missouri governor's position here, signing the SAFE Act, which, again, limits certain types of medical procedures for individuals who might be experiencing gender dysphoria, for instance. So, again, here's Governor J.B. Pritzker reacting to that.
No longer get care legally in Missouri. What's your message to the teenagers across the country?
My message is not just to the teenagers, but to their families that, first of all, they deserve to live in a place that's welcoming, that's affirming, that supports them. And we provide that kind of care in Illinois, and we support people who do provide that care, as we support all of our healthcare professionals. And I think it's, frankly, despicable that there are states that are banning the kind of health care that's needed for these kids. Anybody who knows a family that has a trans child knows that there are already major challenges that you're going through. You need healthcare professionals that are supportive. Some of it is mental health support, some of it is physical health support, but all of it ought to be about affirming and lifting up these children.
So again, Governor J.B. Pritzker reacting to Missouri's law, but you got reaction elsewhere as well, including from Missouri's governor, Mike Parson. He said that, quote, "We support everyone's right to his or her pursuit of own happiness. However, we must protect children from making life-altering decisions that they could come to regret in adulthood once they physically and emotionally matured." Parsons continued that there's a decision, these decisions have permanent consequences for life and should not be made by impressionable children who may be in crisis or influenced by the political persuasions of others. So that's the Republican governor's sentiment over in Missouri after signing this law. In Illinois, you've got Republicans, State Representative Adam Niemerg saying that it's a historic bill in Missouri. Many more states should do the same. He said these kids are kids that we're talking about, and our number one priority should be to protect them. State Representative Brad Halbrook, a Republican, he said children who cannot make decisions for themselves, such as an age, of such an age, they should not be able to make a decision on their gender. Not only is chemically castrating kids barbaric, Halbrook said, he also said that it does nothing to change a person's sex. Kids who cannot vote, buy cigarettes or alcohol, or even go on school field trips without parental consent are incapable of making life-altering decisions like this. We need to follow Missouri's lead here in Illinois. Obviously, the contention is there, but if you look at some other news in this space, you've got the Illinois High School Association that has, according to various news outlets, essentially said that they're changing their transgender policy for sports, updating those requirements so that athletes can ask for permission to play. If you look at some of their ultimate goals here, they define what transgender is, what gender identity, gender expression, and even intersex is. But for the school procedure, they say that the students and or parents shall contact the school administrator or athletic director at their member school, notifying them that the student has a different gender, identifying then listed on the student's school's registration card or on the birth certificate, and the student wishes to participate in athletic or activities in a manner consistent with their gender identity. The school shall collect the information for the participation ruling, and then they go through some of the other procedures there. So this is something that's not going to go away anytime soon. Obviously, it's a contentious issue. And it's something I think is going to also play into the 2024 presidential and congressional elections, let alone the state house elections across the country where they may be happening, including here in Illinois. So the latest on that here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY. Coming back, we'll hear the latest on the conversation about book banning. Is it really happening, or is it a straw man, or is this just a political wedge issue that Democrats are trying to get into the 2024 election cycle? So stay tuned. We'll get to that next here on WMAY. It's 6:31 now. And let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Predictions for soybean and corn yields in Illinois continue to diminish because unfavorably dry weather has been too frequent this season. The latest dry spell, which began in mid-August, has featured periodic heat and has pushed crops towards maturity too quickly, preventing maximum yields. The Regional Field Office of the USDA reports that 58% of the corn crop was rated good to excellent, and 58% of soybeans were rated good to excellent as well. The Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum will be closing its music exhibit at Navy Pier in Chicago. The program, called The State of Sound, A World of Music from Illinois, is a multimedia exploration of Illinois' contribution to music. It tells the stories of genres from gospel to punk to disco and world-famous performers like Miles Davis, Sam Cooke, and Smashing Pumpkins. The final day to see it is September 25th. The Lincoln Library presents preschool story time every Thursday morning at 10:30 through November 2nd. Children ages 3 through 5 and their grown-ups will explore stories and activities designed to promote language and listening skills, expand their imaginations, arouse their curiosity about the world, and encourage a love of reading and learning. More information can be found at WMAY.com. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has revealed new information about the atmosphere of an exoplanet 8.6 times as massive as Earth and orbiting a red dwarf star some 120 light years away. The telescope revealed the presence of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Webb's discovery suggests that the planet may possess a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and a water-ocean-covered surface. Researchers say their findings are consistent with the presence of a molecule which on Earth is only produced by life forms. Bird watchers will gather at the Adams Wildlife Sanctuary every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock to record sightings of resident and fall migratory birds. Illinois Audubon Society member Matt Hayes will lead the groups, which are free and open to the public. Sightings will be submitted to Cornell's eBird database. Hikes begin at the parking lot and will take place through October 19th. The Adams Wildlife Sanctuary is located at 2315 East Clear Lake Avenue in Springfield. More information at WMAY.com. The Illinois State Police is reminding motorists and farmers about traffic safety as Illinois enters the fall harvest season. Farmers will be moving equipment along roadways during the harvest season, which can last until November. ISP encourages motorists to share the road and be patient, allow extra travel time during harvest season, and adjust to a greater following distance to increase sight lines when following behind wide, slow-moving vehicles or when attempting to pass them. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Work hard, sleep well with Bemco and Just Beds. You work hard, your stress is high. You need the best night's sleep possible. That's just what you'll get at Just Beds. All this month, save on Bemco mattresses. Twin mattresses $149, queen mattresses just $229. Just Beds features Bemco's Arctic Breeze, Max Life, and the all-new Arctic Life mattresses. As always, free delivery, setup, and removal. Work hard, sleep well. Visit the Yawn Exterminators at Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds. If your computer screen is showing some unusual stuff, it could be the result of all of those downloads, Zoom meetings, spreadsheets, or just all of those system updates. It may be time for some badly needed repairs. With a flat labor fee and in-stock parts included, repairing your computers is easy at BLH Computers. Check out BLH Computers in Taylorville, Jacksonville, also in Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Peggy at Springfield Supportive Living loves to stay busy.
I love the garden area. It's so peaceful, and they got the walkway, and I walk a lot. I walk 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day, at least.
And then there are Peggy's numerous hobbies.
I like to craft and sew and crochet and keep myself pretty busy, and they have a lot of activities, and I just enjoy being here.
At SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 77 degrees, low tonight about 47. Tomorrow sunny with a high near 77 degrees, low around 49. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 76. And Sunday, sunny skies with a high near 75 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Cons Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Cons will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Cons will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Cons a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Ion Travel Minute. It's a continuing problem in many hotel rooms for travelers. You arrive and notice your cell phone is dying and there's no USB port to plug in. But actually, there is. Most TVs in hotel rooms are smart TVs and they have a USB port. But what if you need an actual charger? you're not necessarily out of luck. Just ask the front desk to check their own lost and found, and chances are excellent that another guest or two may have left one. Just don't forget, when you're checking out, pay it forward and return that charger to the front desk. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute.
When it comes to hiring, you don't need to be doing all the searching, screening, and interviewing yourself. What you need is Indeed, the end-to-end solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
They may have told you it can't be done. You may think there is no way to do it, but at Rex Battery, changing an iPhone battery is a piece of cake. It's true, many iPhone models have batteries that can be replaced. And if yours is still working fine, except for the battery, don't get rid of it, replace it. We have the tools and the right battery to put extra life in an old iPhone. If your iPhone has a dreaded crack down the screen, we can fix that too. For decades, Rex Battery has been finding the right battery to get the job done. Big, small, and hard to get to. iPhone batteries can be replaced in many of the models so you can have more talk time, more selfie time, and more time to learn that TikTok dance. New batteries and broken screen repair now available at Rex Battery. From the tiniest hearing aids to the biggest farm equipment, nobody knows batteries better than Rex. Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former Town and Country Bank customers. We're your community bank, Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com. Member FDIC.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
With all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But I would also tell you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn.
That is Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias talking about a measure here in Illinois that he helped advance and get passed to ultimately prohibit tax dollars from certain schools and libraries that may restrict materials that goes against state law. Of course, this is a law that's set to take effect January 1st. It was approved by the legislature along partisan lines, with Democrats saying this is about ensuring that all voices are heard, while Republicans say that this takes away local control. Well, that's an Illinois issue, but it was injected into the national political conversation yesterday with a hearing on the U.S. Senate's Judiciary Committee, chaired by Illinois Senator Dick Durbin. So here's Alexi Giannoulias with his opening statements about some of his opening statements about this law that he helped get passed, and ultimately some of the Q&A with some of the various groups, including parents groups, and some of the pretty wild things that were ultimately uttered on the Senate's committee floor, with Senator John Kennedy making some national headlines, reading excerpts from some of these questionable materials. So here is the Secretary of State of Illinois laying out why he feels that the law he helped pass here in Illinois is so important.
Authoritarian regimes ban books, not democracies. Tragically, our libraries have become the thunderdomes of controversy and strife across our nation, the likes of which we've never seen before. The need to stand up and fight for our freedoms and our librarians, especially at this perilous time for our democracy, is why I initiated House Bill 2789 in Illinois. Under this legislation, Illinois libraries will not be eligible for state-funded grants if they ban books. This right to read legislation will help remove the pressure that librarians have tragically had to endure over the last couple of years.
So again, Janulius laying out his thoughts on this particular issue, and when it comes to the banning of books, as he puts it, you got questions coming from a variety of areas, including from Lindsey Graham, the Republican from South Carolina, directly questioning Janulius about this position and what it means for the taxpayers who pay for all of this. Do they not have a voice in this?
I want to see if I got the point here. A public library is supported by public dollars. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are you telling taxpayers of this country just shut up? Is all you worry about is your kids don't have a voice about how your taxpayer dollars are being spent and what kind of community you're living in here? Because you're a parent and you don't let your $3 read something, is it possible that the other things, that the books in question may hurt the community in the eyes of parents? Can a parent, a taxpayer, complain under this theory, or should they just shut up?
I would make the exact argument you are. This is about parents making decisions.
We're not making the same argument. My argument is you just said, if you've got kids, you police your kids. Otherwise, just shut up and trust the library system, the school system. Let them decide for your community. I completely, totally reject that.
So again, Lindsey Graham making his arguments there in front of Alexi Janulius. But you had others testifying, not just Alexi Janulius. You had some parents groups as well there talking about how this is what they call a straw man argument to say that books are being banned and ultimately trying to bully certain people who may be pushing back against these ideas being openly available in school libraries. Here's one of these parents groups from yesterday's U.S. Senate hearing.
My name is Nicole Neely, and I'm the president of Parents Defending Education, a membership association that gives parents the knowledge and tools they need to be effective advocates for their children's education. But today, merely suggesting that kids who believe in Santa not have unfettered access to graphic sexual novels is tantamount to murder. In Connecticut, one resident said that the school board's desire to put parental consent rules in place for a few books described as obscene and explicit was, quote, a matter of life and death. It's not. When we do hear from parents about books, the phrase that we hear the most frequently is age appropriate. Radical indeed. School boards across the country cut the mics on parents who read passages from these books, stating, this is inappropriate, there are children in the room. Yet those same books are being provided to children in schools. While it may seem politically convenient to scapegoat parents, I ask you to read some of these explicit paragraphs and look at these sexual images with your children or your grandchildren, and then tell your constituents whether you consider such content educational. As a society, we don't put Playboy in kindergartens. This isn't considered a book ban, but common sense. Strangely, media coverage over this issue frames any discussion at all as tyranny. It is disingenuous at best and deceptive at worst. Classrooms, schools, and libraries have finite space and must select which materials are on display at any given time. Nor do they have unlimited budgets, so must prioritize certain purchases over others. How these decisions are made and who is involved in that process is a matter of public accountability.
So again, you heard the parents there ultimately lay out some of their concerns about how this is being framed by legislators or by, well, quite frankly, lawmakers and the media. But she encouraged people to read the various controversial passages. I'm not going to air this thing in its entirety because it's just hard to listen to, but here's Republican Senator John Kennedy doing just that, reading some passages, and I had to edit this appropriately for radio broadcast, but here's how that played out yesterday.
Let's take two books that have been much discussed. The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it. I put some and got him on his knees. And I began. I and kissed him. He asked me to turn over on himself. This was my, and I was struggling to imagine. He got on top and.
So you get the idea. Senator Kennedy going on and reading not just from that book, but also from Gender Queer, another controversial book that parents who want to restrict some of this material raise as substantive problems with having this material in front of their kids. And while this might not be being taught to students, it's being made available to some students, and that's their concern. Well, Kennedy then went on to further question Alexi Giannoulias after reading these controversial passages, which were obviously I had to edit for radio broadcast here. But here is the back and forth between Kennedy and Giannoulias yesterday.
Now, Mr. Secretary, what are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting that only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Well, first of all, there's this.
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
With all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. But what I would also tell you that we're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's point.
What are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual game.
I'm not getting conceptual.
Well,
I'm saying that
you are. Yes, you are. Because I want to know what you're recommending. It sounds to me like what some of you are saying. The librarians should decide who gets to see that book.
I'm saying when individual parents are allowed to make a decision of where that line is, and To Kill a Mockingbird, which involves a rape scene, should that book be pulled from our libraries? I think it becomes a slippery slope.
I think you ought to think about it a little bit more before you come here.
I've thought about,
Senator, you're going to propose something, you ought to be able, in 30 seconds, to be able to explain what you're asking us to do.
So, again, some of the back and forth from that hearing yesterday in the U.S. Senate's Judiciary Committee with Senator Dick Durbin as the chair, but it didn't get right into the book ban stuff. It got into the immigration issue, which I think Republicans are trying to say, listen, where are we at on immigration? We got a crisis at the border. In the Judiciary Committee, we could deal with this. But then they start talking about what types of books can be in certain classrooms or at certain libraries, be they public or public school libraries. So fascinating to see this. Again, I think it's obviously something that's going to be part of the political conversation heading into the 2024 election. All right, Springfield's Morning News coming back. 177 state workers allegedly committing PPP fraud. I'll give you details next. Right now, it's 6:53 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Work with a team that cares about being the best part of the customer's day. Apply today at Culver's West on Wabash.
Another day on the paintball field? No way we're cleaning those clothes up. But we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other amazing workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com. Another gutter ball? No way we can clean up that score. But we can clean your office, your school, your church, or other awesome workplace. Get your free estimate online at cleanimpactllc.com.
Reel in everything you need to catch fish at V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, 422 South 11th Street in Springfield. Mad Cats, Crappie Monster, Zoom, Catfish Sumo, Daiwa, Zebco, Eagle Claw, Ancient Mariner, Kamagatsu, Guggen, and Skipjack. Plus, get your fishing license, even hunting license, and live bait including minnows and crickets. More inventory arriving daily. Check out their new store today. Find them on Facebook, too. Open 7 days a week, 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. V. Hayes Bait and Tackle, BHAYES. Springfield's newest addition for everything fishing.
parking. Getting around town can be a challenge for those with disabilities. SMTD's Access Paratransit makes it easy.
Hi, my name is Tavares Sanders, and I am an Access Paratransit driver.
And Tavares, what would you say is the most important part of your job?
The most important part of my job is to keep the passengers safe.
And what's your favorite part about your job?
The thing I love about my job the most is helping people with disabilities to get where they're going.
And describe Access in one word.
Excellence, because we strive for the best.
For schedules and routes, go to smtd.org.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SBI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SBI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, a new report from the Office of Executive Inspector General found that 177 Illinois state employees committed $4.5 million in PPP fraud so far. This obviously is something that's ongoing with investigations, but the report released yesterday, it details some of the various findings after starting an investigation in 2022. To date, there have been 438 investigations initiated, 204 have concluded, and 177 have been referred to law enforcement agencies. And when you look at the breakdown that the OEIG gave of Paycheck Protection Program fraud alleged against state employees, the vast majority of those 177 cases, 132 came from the Department of Human Services. 25 came from the Department of Children and Family Services. 8 came out of the Department of Health Care and Family Services, with 4 employees at the Department of Employment Security having been alleged to have violated a PPP program by giving fraudulent information. Then you have 3 each from the Department of Public Health and the Department of Veterans Affairs, 1 each from the Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Revenue. So again, $4.5 million to date that the OEIG has reported out in the most recent report. This is something that I think, you've even got a headline here about how much fraud there's been in the unemployment system across the country. And a watchdog group has said that it's $135 billion across the country. In Illinois, there were $5.3 billion in overpayments, but how are we going to get this money back? Not just from the unemployment fraud, but even from the PPP fraud, which doesn't seem to be just, that certain private sector job provider who is trying to, maybe pad his pockets, inflating numbers. But now you've got the story of these state employees who've been referred to law enforcement over this. Obviously, we'll see what happens here, but the investigation ongoing because it's not just 177 right now. That's where it's at, quote, so far. So, much more to say about all of that, I imagine, in the future, no question. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. We got the Council Roundup coming your way next. It's 7 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. If you're one of those people who reach for the Sudafed or the Dayquil when you've got a stuffy nose, you might want to put it back. A new FDA advisory report says over-the-counter medicines that contain phenylephrine, also known as PE, aren't any more effective than a placebo for use as a decongestant. Dr. Purvi Parikh is an allergist at NYU Langone Health. She says there are other options out there.
Nasal steroids as well as nasal antihistamine sprays. And it's, some examples of those are Flonase, Nasacort, there's something called Astapro. So there are a lot of options that are actually much more effective.
President Biden today announcing $250 million in new funding in the fight against cancer.
This is personal to President Biden, who lost his son Beau to cancer. He's announcing $240 million more to help spot, treat, and beat cancer, a new biomedical data toolbox to help researchers, better aid to help people quit smoking, and getting cancer clinical trials to underserved communities. All this on top of several billion already approved to go after cancer.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vowing support for Russia's invasion of Ukraine during a summit with Vladimir Putin. Putin says Kim's trip will continue with stops in 2 more Russian cities. The death toll from massive flooding and a subsequent dam break in the Libyan city of Derna has now risen to more than 5,000. Here's ABC chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell.
Huge swaths of torrential rainwater, but then the dam water essentially surged through the city itself, cutting a wide swath through the city. As much as a third of the city is reported to have been washed away.
UAW leaders now considering targeted strikes at a small number of each of Detroit's big 3 automakers if contract agreements aren't reached by tomorrow night with Ford, GM, and Stellantis. This is ABC News.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Well, it was a 2-hour and 40-minute meeting last night for the Springfield City Council Committee of the Whole. We'll delve into some of the issues they tackled, everything from a proposed study to evaluate turning CWLP into a natural gas electrification station. We'll also talk about some troubled properties and so much more. Stay tuned. A lot to get to with the Council Roundup last night with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. The Illinois State Police is reminding motorists and farmers about traffic safety as Illinois enters the fall harvest season. Farmers will be moving equipment along roadways during the season, which can last until November. ISP encourages motorists to share the road and be patient, allow extra travel time during harvest season, and adjust to a greater following distance to increase sight lines when following behind wide, slow-moving vehicles or when attempting to pass them. The Illinois State Museum's Children's Corner will be hosting a program about service dogs on Thursday morning at 9:30. Children ages 5 and older can learn about service dogs, their training commands, and the importance of asking permission before petting any dog. Admission is free, and the Illinois State Museum is located at 502 South Spring Street in Springfield. Bird watchers will gather at the Adams Wildlife Sanctuary every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock to record sightings of resident and fall migratory birds. Illinois Audubon Society member Matt Hayes will lead the groups, which are free and open to the public. Sightings will be submitted to Cornell's eBird database. Hikes begin at the parking lot and will take place through October 19th. The Adams Wildlife Sanctuary is located at 2315 East Clear Lake Avenue in Springfield. More information at WMAY.com. Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulis and Professor Emily Cox from the UIUC School of Information Sciences testified yesterday before a Senate committee about Illinois' efforts to protect libraries from outside groups pressuring them to pull books from library shelves. The Illinois law is the only one of its kind in the country, and the Judiciary Committee is considering whether such protections would be appropriate on the federal level. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News brought to you by Illinois Paving. It's paving season, and Illinois Paving is here to help. Call Cousin Bill today for your free estimate. Visit ilpaving.com.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
If your computer screen is showing some unusual stuff, it could be the result of all of those downloads, Zoom meetings, spreadsheets, or just all of those system updates. It may be time for some badly needed repairs. With a flat labor fee and in-stock parts included, repairing your computers is easy at BLH Computers. Check out BLH Computers in Taylorville, Jacksonville, also in Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 77 degrees, low tonight about 47. Tomorrow sunny with a high near 77 degrees, low around 49. Friday partly sunny with a high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 76, and Sunday, sunny skies with a high near 75 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Keeping you connected with the latest market updates every weekday afternoon at 4:30 and 6:30. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
Here's one thing that psychologists and therapists believe to be a key step to achieving better mental health, and it doesn't cost a thing. Spending time outside. That's right, the natural light, the wind against your skin, the sounds and fragrances of the season all work in concert to help you feel better. Now, you can't treat clinical depression and addiction with just one step. Those are more serious problems, especially with drugs and alcohol. The team of nurses, counselors, physicians, and psychologists at Gateway Foundation understand that. They know what you're going through, and they can show you the way out. Your insurance covers treatment, and the Family Medical Leave protects your job. If your situation appears hopeless, make the confidential call to Gateway at 877-505-HOPE, 877-505-HOPE, and start feeling better today. Gateway Foundation. Addiction medicine. Saving lives.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Lavina Roach. I was married for almost 65 years, and I have 4 kids, 5 grandkids, and 5 great-grandkids. I've been here for 5 months. It's so clean. Everybody's wonderful. It makes you feel more like home. And I don't think there's any place in town that's as nice as this one.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Ever notice how other stores that sell mattresses have middlemen that are so meddling with their extra costs and overpricing? At Verlo, there is no middleman. Verlo builds all their own mattresses, then sells directly to you, so you get higher quality for the lowest price. No greedy extra charges for things that have nothing to do with your mattress. Some people call that consumer direct pricing. I just call it smart. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Most mattress manufacturers build only mattresses that cannot be flipped. To keep costs low, they resort to using cheaper foam, which breaks down quicker and eventually leaves your mattress with a body impression. At Verlo, we put better quality components into our single-sided mattresses. We back them with the best guarantees in the industry. Stop in and see us this month and you'll get second-side savings. If you choose a double-sided mattress, we'll double your savings. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
Get $500 off with second side savings now at Verlo.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Here's what we believe at Rex Battery. You should be able to find the right battery when you need it. Our company started when my dad needed a battery for his car and he built it himself. Today, more than 50 years later, we are still making sure you can find the right battery you need. And that includes the common batteries people use every day to the hard-to-find batteries used in big farm equipment. While online outlets are struggling with supply chain issues, we have shelves full of batteries. The best part is we're right here in town and ready to help today. Hearing aids, power tools, and the car in your garage. If it takes a battery, you can find the battery at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
You love sharing time with your kids, but sometimes sharing space is a different story. When it's time for a larger home, Heartland Bank will work with you to find the right-sized loan. What would you do with the extra breathing room? When you're ready to make a move, Heartland Bank is here to help. Apply for a loan online or contact one of our mortgage bankers to get started.
Heartland Bank is an equal housing lender.
Your next vacation to Punta Gorda, Fort Myers, Florida is just a quick flight away with nonstop flights from Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. Enjoy lounging on the beach, golfing the stunning courses, or catching up with family in the Sunshine State. Find yourself a warm getaway with low fares from Allegiant and your friends at Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, where parking is always free. Book your trip today at Allegiant.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
Now it's time for Greg Bishop and the Council Roundup.
And the Council Roundup each and every Wednesday when there's a Springfield City Council meeting Tuesday evening. We unpack it and bring you all the latest so you know what's going on here in the capital city with city government. And back at it, committee of the whole last night. Alderman Sean Gregory was the chairperson of the committee. He's got a couple of ordinances he wanted to definitely tackle. And working through the agenda, took about 2.5 hours or more. But they started with something I think is important that we do hear from time to time, and that is how much money the city has in its coffers. And here is the city treasurer, Colleen Redpath-Fager, laying out just indeed how much money there is in the city's coffers. So take it away, Madam Treasurer.
The Treasurer's report for the corporate fund for the month of August. Beginning balance, $71,831,140. We took in total receipts of $11,655,840. We had total disbursements in the month of August totaling $9,987,184, which left the corporate fund ending balance in the month of August at $73,498,760.
Wow.
The ending general balance fund includes $19,473,945, which is the August ending balance of the ARPA money.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. That concludes my report.
probably one of the largest fund balances I've heard announced at the city council chambers. 73 million, 19 million is ARPA money. Now on to city business.
2023-406, an ordinance approving a professional services agreement with Burns & McDonnell Engineering Company, Incorporated, in an amount not to exceed $110,000 for professional engineering services for the Dolman Unit 4 gas conversion study for the Office of Public Utilities.
So they're looking to possibly get a study about converting CWLP's coal-fired power plant into a national gas-powered power plant. Here is Alderman Hanauer asking some questions of Doug Brown.
That's one question, and people talk about solar and that, but I believe solar prices have skyrocketed. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Where are they currently today?
Basically, they're more than double the market right now.
So obviously solar is expensive, double what it was. What about wind? It's not as reliable. More from Doug Brown and others.
There's a lot of complicating factors that have basically increased prices, but now they're more than double the market price. So, that's something we would have trouble trying to justify to the city council and to our customers, that we would raise basically rates to pay for that.
Wow. What's the wind prices? Are they have they doubled as well? Or are they?
Well, wind doesn't fit our portfolio very well. Solar does. Especially with Unit 4 and our peaking units that we have. So wind, there's some factors in there that you have to look at. It's genuinely probably a little bit cheaper than solar because a lot of them are existing. So they're usually piecemeal, trying to sell some off the existing ones.
So obviously a lot of questions about alternative energies and how those are going to play into the portfolio, but looking at getting natural gas in there, it's a study that'll cost 6 figures.
We don't want to replace Unit 4 right now because renewables, they're not the same reliability as Unit 4.
Well, plus we got a lot of debt service. What's our debt service on
right, and that goes
now?
Until 2040.
2040.
And that's about the time the Governor J.B. Pritzker gave for coal-fired power plants to essentially shut down. So you've got that in the mix here as well, with state policy cracking down on these things. More from CWLP.
For burning coal prices, if they go up too much more in the future, we need to be able to look at other fuel sources. Natural gas is one of them, in order to be able to retain the reliability. Once the technology, I think, comes along, if there's something that can replace the reliability with Unit 4, we would definitely consider that at that point.
What would that be, though? Could it be natural gas? There were several people there to talk from environmental groups kind of pushing back on this idea. Alderman Roy Williams Jr. sounding off.
Will we get incentives to extend our plan or do a plan? And if there's no such thing as expiration of a plan for us that we're in right now? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that based on market conditions, that an IRP right now would not result in anything. It's actually it's going to confirm what I'm telling you, that we want to keep Unit 4. We want to keep our peakers for reliability and to hedge against the market. We would want to look at solar and batteries if the price is competitive. which I'm telling you, it's not right now.
So obviously a lot of consideration going into all of this and getting a professional on board with a $100,000 contract to do a study. I know there's a lot of criticism of studies, but this might be one of those important. Here's more of the debate back and forth.
We have got to make sure that whatever we do, and whether renewables or whatever, that it gives us our ratepayers the best rates possible. Because if we decide, we open it up and it says, yeah, we do renewables or we go off the grid. And in this case, if we were working off the grid and we had to get 50% of our grid, our power through solar, it's twice the price of what the regular power is. We'd be paying that, and that affects our ratepayers. I think that's one thing we got to understand. And we're going to have special interest groups come up, and they're wanting us to get off coal. They're wanting us to get off petroleum products. Every time I've met with them, that's their game plan, and that's fine and dandy. But if it doesn't help, if it's not the best for our ratepayers, I'm sorry, I won't be on board for it.
And CWLP is one of the only municipally owned power generating facilities owned by the taxpayers and the ratepayers. Here's Alderman Donnellan.
I think it's the responsible thing to do because we have been asked, at least I have, by constituents and groups and about how come we don't switch over to natural gas? What's it going to cost? And I don't know the answer to that question. So I think something like this actually does make sense because then we know the answer. And it's the responsible thing to do. I'm not saying natural gas is the way to go because I don't know the answer to the question yet. I think in an ideal world, we'd have a mixed portfolio of wind, solar, coal, and maybe even natural gas. But we got to get there. We got to ask those questions and do the study. And fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, we have to hire experts to do that for us.
And I know that studies have been criticized in the past for going up on a shelf and collecting dust. But this is about possibly converting to natural gas from coal-fired power. But even there, you've got concerns about emissions, and you've also got the possibility of a hydrogen-powered facility that could go into the Pawnee area. What's going on there with that billion-dollar plant that was talked about several years ago? Is it still alive? Are the investors still interested? Is it going to be hydrogen, or is it going to be natural gas, or is it going to be conversion of what? Still a lot of uncertainty out there with more and more policies coming down the pike to impact energy production, not just in Springfield, but all across the state of Illinois. All right, so we're in the middle of the Council Roundup, a review of last night's Springfield City Council meeting here on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. Follow me anywhere, Bishop on Air. 7:22, a short break. Coming back, we'll tackle the issue of problem properties. We'll also get into a whole host of other things as well. And if you're looking for a conversation about the library district, you're going to have to hold on because they didn't really have that much to talk about when it comes to Lincoln Public Library. So stay tuned. Much more coming up. It's 7:22 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Who doesn't want choice? You want choice in everything, from the type of burger you're going to order. You want to get all the gourmet stuff, or maybe you just want a plain Jane, whatever the case may be. What kind of soda you into? What kind of drink you want, right? I mean, all of these things, you've got choice. We all love choice. Well, one thing that you're going to find at Green Hyundai is tons of choice. Why? Because they have inventory. And Mike Quimby standing by with his team from Green Hyundai to tell you all about it, Mike.
That's right, Greg. They're coming in one truck after another. As we begin to look at opening up the new Stanford Avenue dealership on Stanford, the new Hyundai store. But it's still a ways away, a month and a half here. We'll have some concrete numbers on that here soon. But, guys, we've got to sell this inventory down, and we have everything. As a matter of fact, we have the new 2024 all new 2024 Hyundai Kona. When you see this, it's wow. It's another SUV that's going to stand up to the competition head to head. It's a beautiful vehicle, and it is available to you right now, parked right in front of the Dirksen Parkway store. And then Palisades, Tucson's, everything is on the ground right now. So come on out and see us. It's kind of the sell down, close out sale. We got to sell all these cars before we move. So it's the Dirksen Parkway facility directly in front of good old J.C. Penney.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai. Have a great day.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you.
Why do residents love Springfield Supportive Living? Just ask Mike.
I am so glad that I came here. I really appreciate that they have Wi-Fi here because I like playing on my tablet and looking up things and playing games, and I'm just happy that they have that.
With an experienced staff every step of the way.
I get along with them really well. They're a lot of fun, and it's just been a really good experience.
SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
With the council roundup from last night's Springfield City Council meeting, and the next conversation they're having is about problem properties, something they've talked about time and again, but here is a reading of the ordinance up for consideration. It's from Alderman Sean Gregory, who announced that he just wants to talk about this, even though he's going to withdraw the ordinance. Here is the ordinance as read by Clerk Lesko.
Ordinance amending the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended by adding Chapter 106 regarding the health and safety property registry.
Excuse me. Thank you, sir.
Alderman Gregory, he has some individuals come up to address this issue, including from the local property owners group. Anthony Nudo, he addresses the council.
My name is Anthony Nudo, and I am the treasurer for the Springfield Area Landlord Association. And while I don't live in the city at this time, I am a multiple property owner in the city.
So he knows a lot. We've actually talked to Anthony in the past about some state policies, but he addresses some of the concerns when it comes to problem properties in the city of Springfield.
Vacant property registry, where those properties that are vacant, they get registered, and then the city collects the money off of that and tears them down.
Right.
We've seen a lot of houses tore down in Springfield, and you know what? By right, some of them probably needed to be tore down.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, we have plenty of hammers to hammer those nails.
So, policies are in place, he says, to go after them. But there were concerns about, well, how do we find some of those property owners that don't want to be found? Nudo says it's easy.
But the tax bill. Send your notice to the tax bill. Okay. Where the tax bill goes. Who has a tax bill? Okay. Where does it go? Is there a person, a corporation?
A person.
It's a person. Okay, well, that's your clue right there. That's the person that needs, if you have to serve them, then that's the one that has to be served, and then you can continue in the process.
So again, Alderman Sean Gregory bringing this ordinance up because he's talked about it in the past. In particular, he's got a lot of problem properties he wants to address. Here is Alderman Gregory sounding off.
Mr. Fuchs, Public Works, I'm with y'all. Y'all do a wonderful job once we can get to them. So we'll keep working at it, and I think it's just more of a finding them and getting to them and serving them. And if they want to fix up the houses that we're barking about, fine, I'm all for it. But if not, and you're going to run and play games, I'm done with it. I'm tired of it.
So obviously an ongoing conversation. There's been other efforts to try to have a landlord registry of sorts that didn't advance. But next up on the agenda,
ordinance authorizing an additional payment with Evans Carthage for branch and yard waste disposal services associated with the Duratio storm event 6/29/2023 in the amount not to exceed $561,570 for the Office of Public Works.
So another $500,000 for waste pickup from trees and stuff that have fallen down. Things could get worse, Director Fuchs from Public Works says.
I want to warn everybody, that storm was so devastating, and we have so many trees, and we are all Midwesterners. We love a big tree with a great canopy so we can sit in the backyard and enjoy the shade. These trees have been damaged. They've been severely damaged. We're cutting trees down every single day. We're taking major limbs out of trees every single day. We're going to continue to have that problem, I suspect, on into the winter. And one of my concerns is, let's say we get a classic Midwestern storm. We get 4, 5, 6 inches of snow, maybe a foot of snow.
Right.
Then the temperature drops to 3 degrees.
Oh, boy.
And the wind picks up out of the northwest for 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
These trees are damaged.
Yep.
They'll be extremely cold and dry at that point. So, folks, we need to be prepared to continue to lose large limbs and trees throughout this city, certainly through the winter.
I think that right there is a pretty important message that we need to convey to everybody out there, property owners. Listen, if you've got some branches that are rubbing up against some of the power lines, you need to get the utility out there and get that cleaned up before winter comes around. If you've got some dead limbs and things, it's probably best to take care of that this fall any way you can before we do get any potential ice storms that might come and just wreak havoc on the infrastructure some more. So I think Director Fuchs there making a pretty compelling argument of just doing the best you can to maintain such properties. All right, is the Council Roundup again last night's 2.5-hour meeting, more than that. If you're waiting to hear any conversation or debate about Lincoln Library, they really didn't have it. All they did was they just advanced several ordinances. One, keeping Catherine Harris on as the interim library director, and then also an ordinance to have the appointed library director, Gwendolyn Harrison. Both of those, no debates. They just put them on the agenda for next week. So again, last night was the committee of the whole, where they determine which ordinances are going where, either on debate or on consent, or if they're just going to withdraw them, or they will debate some things. But next week's when they take final action on those issues and what they covered last night. But again, no debate last night about Lincoln Library, so it'll be interesting to hear what happens next week. And of course, we'll be covering it here as we do each and every week with the Council Roundup. More, though, coming up here on WMAY. It is Springfield's Morning News, now 7:32, and let's check some headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has revealed new information about the atmosphere of an exoplanet 8.6 times as massive as Earth and orbiting a red dwarf star some 120 light years away. The telescope revealed the presence of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Researchers say their findings are consistent with the presence of a molecule which on Earth is only produced by life forms. Springfield police announced they responded to a bomb threat at Lanphier High School yesterday afternoon. By approximately 2:30 p.m., the building had been cleared, and the students and faculty were allowed to re-enter the school without further incident. Anyone with information concerning this incident is asked to call the Springfield Police Department and/or Sangamon-Menard County Crime Stoppers. The Lincoln Library presents preschool story time every Thursday morning at 10:30 through November 2nd. Children ages 3 through 5 and their grown-ups will explore stories and activities designed to promote language and listening skills, expand their imaginations, arouse their curiosity about the world, and encourage a love of reading and learning. More information can be found at WMAY.com. The Illinois State Police is reminding motorists and farmers about traffic safety as Illinois enters the fall harvest season. Farmers will be moving equipment along roadways during the harvest season, which can last until November. ISP encourages motorists to share the road and be patient, allow extra travel time during harvest season, and adjust to a greater following distance to increase sight lines when following behind wide, slow-moving vehicles or when attempting to pass them. Bird watchers will gather at the Adams Wildlife Sanctuary every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock to record sightings of resident and fall migratory birds. Illinois Audubon Society member Matt Hayes will lead the groups, which are free and open to the public. Sightings will be submitted to Cornell's eBird database. Hikes begin at the parking lot and will take place through October 19th. The Adams Wildlife Sanctuary is located at 2315 East Clear Lake Avenue in Springfield. More information at WMAY.com. The Illinois State Museum's Children's Corner will be hosting a program about service dogs on Thursday morning at 9:30. Children ages 5 and older can learn about service dogs, their training commands, and the importance of asking permission before petting any dog. Admission is free, and the Illinois State Museum is located at 502 South Spring Street in Springfield. Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulis and Professor Emily Cox from the UIUC School of Information Sciences testified yesterday before a Senate committee about Illinois' efforts to protect libraries from outside groups pressuring them to pull books from library shelves. The Illinois law is the only one of its kind in the country, and the Judiciary Committee is considering whether such protections would be appropriate on the federal level. Springfield's dependable forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by Just Beds. A great night's sleep starts with a visit to the yawn exterminators at Just Beds. Online at justbedsinc.com.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power. Batteries of all shapes and sizes. Excellent service. Exceptional value.
They're called Motobat batteries, and we have them at Rex. Motobats are batteries for motorcycles that are powerful enough to handle all your accessories. As you add new gadgets to your motorcycle, the standard factory battery may not be enough to handle it all. The Motobat battery is designed to send enough juice to the whole motorcycle and keep you moving down the road. At Rex Battery, we have all kinds of batteries for all kinds of vehicles. The Motobat battery has a quad flex terminal design, shortening the path to the battery cable. That means you get quicker power delivery and improved starting ability. If you have a motorcycle, you need Motobat. Rex Battery on Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Join the fight against cancer at Denim and Diamonds 2023. This year's gala is Saturday, October 14th at the Crown Plaza, Springfield. As always, all money raised stays right here in Central Illinois, supporting local cancer research and patient comforts at Simmons Cancer Institute at SIU School of Medicine. Tickets and tables are available at siumed.edu/cancer. Denim and Diamonds is sponsored by Chronister Oil, DBA, Quick and Easy, Memorial Health, Simmons Hanley Conroy, Isringhausen Imports, Jeff and Tina Bennett, Roland and Linda Foles, and the Noonan Patton Group at Merrill Lynch.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 77 degrees, low tonight about 47. Tomorrow sunny with a high near 77 degrees, low around 49. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 76. And Sunday, sunny skies with a high near 75 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Here at Warren Boynton State Bank, we're proud to be a true community bank since 1877. We remind you that the goal of a community bank is to work together with our customers and communities to help move them forward in positive ways. When we accept your deposits, we invest that money right back into this area, into homes, farms, and small businesses. One of our primary goals is to help this community in any way we can. And because we've invested in you, our friends and neighbors, our bank is safe and sound and in business to stay. We're sincere in our care and concern for this community. Our employers, directors, and managers are people you know, people who are dedicated to making this a better place to live. Discover what a true community bank is at Warren Boynton State Bank, 3030 Spring Mill Drive in Springfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Peggy at Springfield Supportive Living loves to stay busy.
I love the garden area. It's so peaceful, and they got the walkway, and I walk a lot. I walk 7,000 to 8,000 steps a day at least.
And then there are Peggy's numerous hobbies.
I like to craft and sew and crochet and keep myself pretty busy, and they have a lot of activities, and I just enjoy being here.
At SpringfieldSupportiveLiving.com.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
At it with the Council Roundup and a review of last night's Springfield City Council meeting, where we unpack some of the highlights that you need to know about, things they talked about. Of course, a lot of it early on started with the issue of power generation and possible study looking at transferring the coal-fired generation to natural gas. What about hydrogen? Is that going to be part of this study? Anyways, that's going to cost six figures. You've also got a $500,000 contract extension for picking up more yard waste after that derecho, which really just wreaked havoc. I mean, how long were people without power? A week or so? But the warning is things could get dicey this winter if we have a mixture of ice and wind because some of these trees are so severely damaged. But anyways, let's go on now and hear from the next issue up for consideration at last night's Springfield City Council meeting. Here is the clerk reading off the next ordinance.
Grant agreement with Better Life, Better Living for Kids and payment in the amount of $215,000 pursuant to grant number 203-186 from the State of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity in the amount of $3 million for the Community Collections Program for the Springfield Police Department.
So this is one of three ordinances that Alderman Sean Gregory wanted to bring up and discuss, and he had these on first reading last week. Here's Alderman Gregory discussing this a bit.
So what I wanted to do, these groups have been at the table with us and former Mayor Langfelder for, over 2 years, and with a promise that we would move forward on this empowerment zone. And we have, we got young people needing the attention and the activities and the this overall mentorship in our community.
So Gregory's looking for some of the $3 million in grants the city's getting to go to these programs that former Mayor Langfelder had worked on. He continues on, but Hanauer jumps in.
But I just am concerned. We don't want to screw things up and lose everything, is my concern.
If I may follow up, the $645,000 was specifically told to not only me, but former Mayor Langfelder and Chief that is supposed to be used for programming only. And that's why we use $400,000 in a core grant from Representative Sue Sarah on the buildings. Now, the buildings are going to cost a substantial amount of money that we don't necessarily have. So therefore, I came back to the plan. The plan says that $645,000 is supposed to be used in the empowerment zone that we can't get off the ground.
But it has
So,
to be approved
give
by
me-
the state.
So send it up and let's approve it.
So obviously, questions back and forth about the priorities and the funding here. Let's hear now from the police chief who's helping lead this effort of getting these dollars in the right place.
Absolutely, Chief.
I'm going to shoot straight real quick, too, and I think it's important that I make this very clear that as the leader of this organization, it's about developing partnerships throughout our entire community. It's about being able to build trust and confidence in the citizens that we serve. It's about being able to mentor with our youth and put them on the path to success. And by partnering with groups in our community, I think that's a viable way to do that. Now, I don't have the magic wand to wave any money here, but I've had multiple conversations about partnering with organizations because it's important that our youth, some of those which are one bad decision away from ruining their lives, that they see law enforcement interacting with them. So I think that's a very powerful cause.
So obviously a lot of more conversation had and priorities on how these dollars are going to be spent. Next up, insurance for city employees.
People are leaving us early because they can't afford the insurance. We're 25 officers short when we started this term. Because the pay was significantly lower than everybody else in Central Illinois. Some of the other things that have our officers leaving before the end of their 20 years is because they can't afford to quit the job and retire from their job because they can't afford the insurance. We need to do something different. I will not vote for this. I think it's bad. I think it's bad for the police department. And we need to stand up for our police officers, and this is why I'm against it.
So Alderman Redpath there talking about two different ordinances, but he has support for one, opposition for another. They had an expert there to speak on this.
Hi, my name is Mike Allwood. I'm the labor co-chair, IBEW.
So Mike, he's there to answer any questions, and then Alderman Redpath, after hearing some, he's like, oh, wait a second, I was talking about another ordinance. Here's Alderman Redpath.
Everybody else.
You know what? I got this mixed up with the next ordinance.
Right. Oh. Okay.
Because the 1%, I don't have a problem with the 1%. Okay. My problem is the 3% for the retirees. That's where my big problem is.
Oh.
So clearly there's questions on how much more cost new employees or current employees or retirees are going to have to pay for insurance.
That group of people is generating 28% more of the cost in our actual spend than any other group, active, union, non-union, non-active, HSA, just because of the nature of the plan. And we're trying to come up with some different ideas. And just so you know, the insurance committee is very, very concerned about our police department and our fire department, all our first responders. And we have partnered with the chief to help fund the Visions program for the police out of our wellness funds. And today we just voted to move a center of excellence that's in Florida and a center of excellence that's in Washington, D.C. that specifically cater to the mental health needs of our first responders to our in-network payment tier. So our officers and our firefighters are not hit with those huge out-of-pocket expenses.
So clearly there's questions about how much insurance is going to cost employees and retirees. More from Alderman Redpath on this.
We are losing police officers to other departments, not just because of this, but because we are not paying them properly. They haven't been paid properly for a lot of years, and we've been fighting this fight. We appropriated $2.3 million in the budget to raise the salary just up to where they could be, and the other departments are still going away from us. We got to do something. We're losing good people who want to work here at the city of Springfield.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming you.
No, I understand.
I mean, there's a lot of people I want to blame, but that's not the time or the place now. But we got to find a better way to do this. These guys do not deserve this.
So there was some talk about a hiring freeze that took place several years ago where they weren't hiring new people, and Redpath pushes back on the idea of cost savings there.
We wanted to boast about all this money we saved, and we didn't save money. What we did was we put ourselves in public works, in the fire department, in the police department. We put people behind the 8 ball because we wanted to look like we were being fiscally responsible when we really were not. And if we would have been keeping up those payments over those years, we wouldn't be in this mess right now. Is that right?
So, I mean, I agree that across, and it's not just police and fire, it's accountants and attorneys and linemen. I mean, our guys are.
I'm not trying to
$10
leave
an
anybody
hour.
out, but you understand
Yeah,
the
no, I
concept.
understand it. It's a systemic problem, and I think we all know that we need to get there. We're having the same problem. We're having apprentices that are hiring on and walking out the door and going to Menard County because.
So obviously, this is going to be an ongoing conversation, one that aldermen are going to continue to have. But fast forwarding here, you had an ordinance that Alderman Sean Gregory wanted to focus on when it comes to the Y block and having a resolution talking about more funding to have better pedestrian crosswalks, especially for all the Levitt Concert Amphitheater stuff that's happening out there. But something else that he's looking to advance as well, he brought up last night at the council meeting.
What this particular ordinance is to create a minority business enterprise similar to what the state does, where minority businesses can go in, put in their information, and they will be a certified minority business with the city of Springfield. And then at that time, our purchasing agent, along with our community relations director, will be able to send out emails and communications of bids to those minority-owned businesses in hopes that we can raise the level of participation on city projects.
So Alderman Gregory wanting to advance that, but then it was time for new and unfinished business. Alderman Williams and Alderwoman Purchase talk about what they were doing in their communities and their wards.
I would like the citizens to tour my ward. I want to show my 25 worst locations, houses and buildings. And if they would please contact me, we could set these tours up and then get them started, please. So that was my new business. Thank you.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Well, this is both of our wards, Enos Park, and we're doing our historic home tour this Saturday, September 16th from 1 to 5, as well as we have the annual Edwards Place Art Fair, which is really big and nice, and I would invite all of my colleagues to come and join me and come and look at some of our historical houses that we have transformed over there.
So you can go and check out some of the worst properties in Ward 3, or go and do a historic tour of Ward 3 and 4 in certain properties. So fascinating to hear that kind of dynamic there last night at the Springfield City Council meeting. It is the Council Roundup. That's all I got for you today with Springfield's morning news when it comes to the Council Roundup. More coming up, 7:51 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all shifts and all positions. Apply today in person.
At Midwest Family, we're looking for talented and dynamic account executives who thrive in a fast-paced working environment. Those who are passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive. Are you a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have a grasp on today's digital media? And do you have the ability to cultivate lasting relationships and partnerships? If this sounds like this is for you, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on our careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
With rising costs and inflation, why not use your home's equity for the money you need today? Whether it's a kitchen renovation or paying off high-interest debt, INB can help. We're currently offering attractive rates for home equity line of credit products. To learn more, stop by an INB branch or visit us online at inb.com. INB, we make banking easy. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 477621.
Getting around town can be a challenge for those with disabilities. SMTD's Access Paratransit makes it easy.
My name is Angela Jefferson, and I am Superintendent of Access Paratransit Services. My role here is to provide services for riders with disabilities or those who can't get to an SMTD bus stop.
And Angela, what do you love about your job?
I love that I'm able to help provide transportation for people with disabilities who would otherwise not have it.
For schedules and routes, go to smtd.org.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company, right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
Guess who's in charge of arranging the corporate event this year? Now, where to start?
Conn's Catering and Events has you covered. A quick call or visit with the experts at Conn's will save you time while making you look like an excellent planner.
Well, this event is a real monster. We'll need a bunch of options.
Like a customizable menu tailored to your specific needs and preferences?
That would be one easy solution.
From full-service events like the one you're planning to drop-off catering like a quick meal to feed the office, Conn's will have people complimenting you on the excellent choices.
Sounds like this is going to be a permanent addition to my job description.
Because you're not settling for anything less than extraordinary. Give Conn's a call. They'll help you turn the event into a complete success as you make that lasting impression on your clients, employees, and guests.
Call Angie at 217-523-4466 or visit Cons at conshg.com to set up your corporate dining experience today.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
All right, I can't be everywhere, obviously, but you got the Springfield City Council meeting last night, but also on Tuesdays they have the Sangamon County Board meets, and I'd love to get an update from a local listener. Roseanne was there and heard about it. What's going on? What did you find out last night at the Sangamon County Board meeting?
Well, in a world where you hear every day of how many dollars are being spent on illegal aliens, it was so good to hear a gentleman named Dane Schaefer talk about the Veterans Assistance Commission. He did a presentation on how our veterans in the area are being helped, so that was wonderful. There were a lot of smiles about this. Everybody was very happy. Resolution approving the procurement and services from Habitat for Humanity of Sangamon County. They're going to be picking up large and bulky items, and so they engaged their services. So that's going to be everywhere except Springfield, because Springfield has their own service.
That's right, yep.
So people were excited about that. Lastly, the biggest story is that Sangamon County just purchased new election equipment from Election Systems and Software. for voting equipment, a 10-year warranty, maintenance, support, software, and licensing for around $2,300,000. So that's exciting. Let's hope. And another thing, being involved in election judges every year, that means the schooling is going to be important again for election judges. Usually it's the same old.
Right.
But now that we have new equipment, we're going to need the schooling.
Well, and I imagine, that training is going to be important. Are these, what kind of electronic scan that we currently have, or are we getting new, touch screens? Is that in the mix? We got a minute.
Well, what they said is that there's 3 ways that they are going to report. You're going to have the paper ballot, you're going to have a screen, and I can't remember the other one. I talked to my county board member who actually saw the demonstration and said that they were all very impressed by the machine. So let's hope for the best.
We'll see what happens. Greatly appreciate you giving us that update for what happened at the Sangamon County building. Ms. Polito, thank you, and we'll definitely be in touch, all right? I might have to lean on you some more for
Thank you.
that. All right, it is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Plenty more coming up, including full disclosure next hour, but more. And we'll talk about business in the 217 and also what's going on with Hope School. So it's on the way here right now, though. It's 8 o'clock on WMAY.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
The latest from ABC News, I'm Em Nguyen. Captured in Pennsylvania, the convicted killer who escaped from a Chester County prison nearly 2 weeks ago. State police say he's in custody now and will have more details later this morning. Danilo Cavalcante repeatedly evaded capture, slipping through police lines over the last few days. Some of the most popular cold and flu drugs out there may have an ingredient that isn't doing much at all.
Look for the medicine phenylephrine, because this is what we are deeming to be not effective, no better than a placebo in studies.
Dr. Purvi Parikh at NYU Langone Health, after the FDA released its findings that PE doesn't help relieve symptoms. It's found in products like Sudafed, Dayquil, and Mucinex. The United Auto Workers on the verge of a strike against Detroit's big 3 automakers. Ford President and CEO Jim Farley.
The impacts of a strike, especially a long, ongoing strike, multi-week, multi-month strike, would be devastating for the U.S. economy.
The deadline for a deal is tomorrow at midnight. A handshake between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin. ABC Chief Global Affairs Correspondent Martha Raddatz.
Kim telling Putin that he supports all the Russian president's decisions for, quote, a sacred fight for its sovereignty and security. Russia is running out of ammunition in Ukraine, and that is what Kim could provide. As for Kim, he wants advanced technology for his missile programs. Putin saying this morning, this is why we have come here, because of Kim's interest in missile technology.
The death toll from this week's devastating Libyan floods now stands at 5,000, and thousands more are still missing. Facing mounting pressure from the extreme right wing of his party, Republican House Leader Kevin McCarthy directing the House to open an impeachment inquiry into President Biden's role in his son Hunter's business dealings. The White House calls it extreme politics at its worst. This is ABC News.
Embarrassed by ugly yellow toe fungus?
Living with toe fungus it's embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off. I hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody.
Introducing Crystal Flush. Crystal Flush is the only FDA-registered 2-in-1 home treatment that attacks your toe fungus from both the inside and out. Crystal Flush's new and different combination system knocks out toe fungus for good. Guaranteed.
Crystal Flush is different. After just a few weeks, my fungus was gone. I mean, 100% disappeared. Crystal Flush was the only thing that ever worked. So if you're skeptical because you tried a bunch of other stuff, Crystal Flush is different. This is a game changer.
Crystal Flush is now available without a prescription, but it is not available in stores. Get your risk-free supply today. Go to crystalflush.com. That's CRYSTAL flush.com. Stop being embarrassed by ugly yellow toenails. Go to crystalflush.com or call 800-204-4.
All right, coming up, we've got a lot more to tackle, including business in the 217 with the Springfield Business Journal, expecting to join Michelle Ownby in a conversation in about 15 minutes or so. Plus, after 8:30, back with full disclosure. We'll talk with David Greising from the Better Government Association about the state's pension woes. We'll talk about the Safety Act and possibly tackle a few other things as well, including incentives for a Chinese EV company. So stay tuned. A lot to get to here with Springfield's Morning News with 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. It's 8:03.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulis and Professor Emily Cox from the UIUC School of Information Sciences testified yesterday before a Senate committee about Illinois' new law protecting libraries from outside groups pressuring them to pull books from library shelves. The Illinois law is the only one of its kind in the country, and the Judiciary Committee is considering whether such protections would be appropriate on the federal level. Springfield police announced they responded to a bomb threat at Lanphier High School yesterday afternoon. By approximately 2:30 p.m., the building had been cleared, and the students and faculty were allowed to re-enter the school without further incident. Anyone with information concerning this incident is asked to call the Springfield Police Department and/or Sangamon-Menard County Crime Stoppers. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope has revealed new information about the atmosphere of an exoplanet 8.6 times as massive as Earth and orbiting a red dwarf star some 120 light years away. The telescope revealed the presence of carbon-bearing molecules, including methane and carbon dioxide. Webb's discovery suggests that the planet may possess a hydrogen-rich atmosphere and a water-ocean-covered surface. Researchers say their findings are consistent with the presence of a molecule which on Earth is only produced by life forms. Predictions for soybean and corn yields in Illinois continue to diminish because unfavorably dry weather has been too frequent this season. The latest dry spell, which began in mid-August, has featured periodic heat and has pushed crops towards maturity too quickly, preventing maximum yields. The regional field office of the USDA reports that 58% of the corn crop was rated good to excellent, and 58% of soybeans were rated good to excellent as well. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Cousin Bill here with Illinois Paving. Do you need a new driveway? Did you drag your feet this summer? Well, call now before the season ends. When other contractors say no, Illinois Paving will say yes, with immediate openings available, whether it's asphalt or hot tar and chip. Call Cousin Bill, 788-7777. 788-7777. ILPaving.com.
Do you like gadgets? Techie kind of stuff that you can control with your phone, like your home security system, for instance. If you have a security system and you're not able to control everything with your phone, you're really missing out. With the virtual keypad on your phone, you can even watch your cameras and control other systems in your house besides just the security system from anywhere at any time. Curious? Call the Springfield office of Barcom Security or check out barcomsecurity.com and have a secure day.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
That fall you had was tough, even requiring surgery. How you mend is totally your choice. Rest at home with the help from family, friends, and neighbors, or the Villas Total Rehab in Sherman. The Villas houses some of the best rehabilitation professionals in the area with a full gym, complete with one-on-one help every step of the way. The Villas in Sherman has 24-hour nursing care, so if there's a bump in the road, you're safer than being home. It's your choice. Find us online at villasseniorcare.com.
Get today's headlines delivered to your inbox every morning. Subscribe now at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Expect sunny skies today with a high near 77 degrees, low tonight about 47. Tomorrow sunny with a high near 77 degrees, low around 49. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 78. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 76. And Sunday, sunny skies with a high near 75 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by BLH Computers in Springfield, Jacksonville, and Taylorville. Online at blhcomputers.com.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy. Experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Marilyn Nash. I like all the people here. They all treat me nice. Like since my sister moved here, it's been better because if I want to go upstairs or if I want to argue with her, I can. You know, I mean, we're sisters, right? But yeah, I like just about everything here.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough? If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Lauterbach Man here, proudly standing above my busy 7 bays on Wabash. The view from here is amazing. I've been looking at our wonderful city for decades upon decades. Many things have changed, but other things have not. We love Abe. We aren't shy about covering things in cheese, then adding toast, then cheese, then fries, then cheese, then, well, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing I'm most proud of, the thousands and thousands of cars that are driving safely thanks to our talented Lauterbach technicians. Cars going from the airport to the universities, from North Dirksen to South Veterans, crisscrossing from farmland to downtown, waving at tourists and trusted politicians. Abe. And if Abe were here today, he'd say, "Who's the tall guy?" And I'd say, "I'm Lauterbach Man, and I'm at your service." And if an imaginary Abe Lincoln driving a car can trust us, you can too. Lauterbach Tire on Wabash. Drive safely now.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Community spirit is something that I think we really cherish here in Springfield because we have so many wonderful organizations and a community that comes out to support them. And one of those organizations looking for your support is Hope School, and they've got the Style of Hope coming up with all the details you need to know, including where you can get your tickets for this exciting evening of style and cocktails and dinner and fellowship. Well, we've got Jody and Lisa from Hope School joining us, and I guess let's get all the details. Start with Jody Ogilvie, and right next to her is Lisa Sanders. So who wants to take it away?
I'll start. So next week we have the Style of Hope. It's our 16th year at the BOS Center. And, it started as a very small show in the basement of the BOS Center, and it's grown to the main floor. And we already have sold over 1,000 tickets for the show.
Wow. So that's going to fill that entire floor up.
Yes.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about Hope School. What is Hope School for people who aren't familiar?
Hope started in 1957. It's a residential school for children with disabilities. We've now been serving steadily over 66 years, and we are in 6 different states now. So we've really grown our programming to really encompass the lifespan of an individual with disabilities.
So a pretty incredible organization, obviously helping some children who are going to thrive because of the work done at Hope School, but they need your help to bring that hope. So tell us about the Style of Hope. Again, it's next Thursday at the Bank of Springfield Center. What can people expect? Is it a black tie event? Is it a formal evening, or can I show up in ripped jeans?
Yes,
so,
either.
So the Style of Hope this year marks the 16th year. We have a cocktail reception starting at 6 o'clock. Guests can enjoy hors d'oeuvres prepared by Cured Catering. We'll have a signature cocktail. Our silent auction tables will be open to bid, and new this year we've added some pop-up boutiques that guests can enjoy an in-shopping experience.
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Tell us about the Style Show. What's going to be on stage?
Yeah, we've got a lot of the same boutiques that we've had over the past few years, but we've added a few more. So we have a lot of local, like Bella Boutique, Chico's White House Black Market, Kennedy Sue, On the Go, Shields. We've introduced men's fashion that last year, and so Shields really brings that with a lot of variety of fashions for men and women.
Is there going to be camouflage? I mean, if Shields is involved,
I know. That's what
I imagine there's going to be some kind of camouflage tux or something.
There was no camo last year. Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
there was no camo last year?
Everybody was very surprised.
Wow, that's amazing.
No Carhartt either, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot with Carhartt.
Yeah.
You really can,
right.
and get the Timberland boots and all that.
Yeah.
Yes. You could pull off some style that way. I mean, come on. So absolutely, this is something I think is going to be a fun evening with the Style Show, but also just the fellowship here. You guys have sold 1,000 tickets so far
already. Yeah, and we expect that to grow within
How
this
many?
next week.
Like, is there a limit, or are you guys just gonna, if
No.
need be, you're gonna take over the entirety, all levels?
Yeah, we'll
of
do the
BOS
entire every single aspect of the BOS Center. We will take it over.
Yeah, that's great. Well, fantastic. I mean, this is again something helping out Hope School, and it's a way for you to join with others in the community and make this happen. Of course, details available. Where at? What website? Where people get those tickets?
You can go to hope.us to get tickets. I do want to mention that the only way to get reserved seating at this event is through a sponsorship.
Oh, okay. So in other words, you get tickets. You kind of just
you can walk around,
Okay.
Which there's a lot to do to still walk around. So I don't want to discourage that either. But if you do want that reserved seating by the runway, we have sponsorship levels, which you can also find on hope.us.
So again, cocktails start at 6 o'clock. 7:30 is when the fashion show goes on, and you'll be able to enjoy catering from Cured Catering, all at the Bank of Springfield Center for the Style of Hope, the 16th year. You guys have sold 1,000 tickets. It's going to be a fantastic evening, absolutely. So again, I can show up in ripped jeans, or I mean,
I think whatever you feel best.
You really don't have to answer that. I mean, come on, show up and be presentable,
camo tux,
people. I mean,
whatever you want.
Camo tux, I love it. And then one of those 16-gallon hats,
absolutely,
or whatever.
Yeah, cowboy boots.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Jody and Lisa, give us more details on some of the families out there who may be needing the assistance of Hope. How can they get involved with the school?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the school here in Springfield. We also have our autism clinic too, which is really focused on that early intensive ABA therapy for children with an autism diagnosis, which we also do. We diagnose that as well. So if you are looking for services either from the school or the autism clinic, you can go to hope.us again and find all of our services.
So make that happen. Hope.us, where you can find more about their services, but you can also find out more about the Style of Hope fashion show that's going to be happening at the Bank of Springfield Center next Thursday. So plan that and be there, and grab your friends and get them all together and be in a fellowship together with what's going on at Hope School. Jody, Lisa, thank you so much for taking time with us today. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Right?
Thanks.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Now 8:17. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got a high of around 77 with sunny skies eventually. Still kind of overcast out there. Clear overnight, the low of 47. Thursday, sunny with a high of 76. Friday, sunny with a high of 78. And Saturday, the high of 75, partly sunny skies. By Sunday, sunshine, 75 the high. This is my kind of weather. 50 degrees now, at least that's what it was earlier, a bit chilly. Right now, it's about 8:18 from Culver's West on Wabash.
Deliver smiles, butter burgers, fresh custard, and great service. Culver's West on Wabash is hiring for all positions.
If your computer screen is showing some unusual stuff, it could be the result of all of those downloads, Zoom meetings, spreadsheets, or just all of those system updates. It may be time for some badly needed repairs. With a flat labor fee and in-stock parts included, repairing your computers is easy at BLH Computers. Check out BLH Computers in Taylorville, Jacksonville, also in Springfield, and always online at blhcomputers.com.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport has recently undergone improvements to make your experience flying to and from your hometown even easier. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at AA.com. Fly local, fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Stop waiting to get better quality sleep. Labor Day at Hendricks Home Furnishings is your chance to save big on top mattress brands. Feel the trusted support of Sealy, experience the legendary comfort of Tempur-Pedic, and discover the one-of-a-kind craftsmanship of Stearns & Foster, all with savings up to $800 off select adjustable sets, now until September 18th only. Find better sleep today at Hendricks Home Furnishings, where you can always talk to the owners, Route 4 in Verdon, and on the web at hendricks.tv.
You're not as young as you used to be, so when you need a helping hand but want to stay independent, there's a place right in Sherman you can call home. The Villa's Assistant Lifestyle offers the freedom and comforts of home, yet gives you all the amenities you want, along with 24-hour nursing care when you need it. Our residents are not patients, they're family. Call today and discover how the gold standard and senior care can make a difference for you at Villa's Assistant Lifestyle. Online at villaseniorcare.com.
Barcom Security. You know, we're the Have a Secure Day security systems company. Right here out on South Cokie Mill Road. Family owned and managed for nearly 50 years. We are local experts in residential, small business, and commercial security systems. Family owned, family values, treating you just like family. Call us anytime, day or night, and we'll actually pick up the phone. You can check us out at barcomsecurity.com, and as always, have a secure day.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you're a member. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Blood donors rock at Impact Life because saving lives is in their bones. Now, through October 31st, all donors who register to give blood will be eligible for their choice of a $10 gift card or a limited edition Blood Donors Rock long-sleeved Halloween-themed t-shirt. Give what's in your heart today and register to donate blood before October 31st. Visit our donor center on Wabash in Springfield or on Main Street in Decatur. We are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, it's that time of the week where we check in with Michelle Ownby from the Springfield Business Journal about what's going on in and around the Springfield business community. And Michelle, a lot to tackle here. Pretty good range of things to address. A lot of times we talk about different restaurants that are coming to town, but it's not often we talk about where people can go find their next hobby. So talk about what's going on with a new retailer that's going to allow people to buy fish, not to eat, but to keep. Good morning. Michelle, for some reason, I'm not hearing you. Hold on a second. Let me double check to make sure we've got you coming through. Michelle Ownby, 1 second here. We got some technical issues that we're working out. Hold on 1 second. Let's see here. Line in, speaker, line out, speaker, same as system. Join. Michelle Ownby, you're going to have to hold on a second. We'll be back to get this all figured out, I promise. But having a little bit of a technical issue, I'll have to call her up, see if we can make this happen and get it all squared away. But for some reason, I am not hearing her, even though she is talking. Let me see if I can pipe this through.
Over on Jefferson.
All right, Michelle, I apologize. Michelle, I apologize. We had a little bit of a technical snafu, so we're going to have to start over on this. So I appreciate your patience here. So, all right. Michelle Ownby, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal, here with Business in the 217. A lot to tackle. Pretty interesting mix of things that are going on in Springfield. We typically talk about restaurants, but there's a new retailer going to be opening up here soon that is going to allow people to buy fish, not to eat, but to keep. What's going on with this latest business here in Springfield?
Yes, we've got a couple of unique businesses coming to town, and one is Fluorescent Reefs. It's a retail business specializing in coral and saltwater fish. They actually just opened within the last couple of weeks over on West Jefferson Street. They're in that little strip center next to Brewski's. And I had a chance to chat with Dustin and Jen Shreves. It really started out of their own hobby. At one point, he said they had about 22 tanks themselves, and they converted from freshwater to saltwater fish, and then realized that they were kind of hard to come by, at least in central Illinois. So they started an online business about 3 years ago, selling fish and coral through their website and also through Instagram. I didn't know that selling fish on Instagram was a thing, but apparently it is. And just recently they decided to take it to the next level. And so now they've opened up a brick and mortar location.
It's one hobby that is just absolutely fascinating. And once people get into it, it's hard for them to get away from it because you can do all kinds of customizations to the tanks, and they've got all kinds of different, types of accessories, plus the fish are absolutely stunning. You've got, a vast array of colors and shapes, and it really is a hobby I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, and they'll be able to find out even more about that. Of course, here with Business in the 217, Michelle Ownby with the Springfield Business Journal. Other stuff going on, a new concept to Springfield, dealing with some, storage containers? What's going on with the rail yard?
Yes, and we've been getting a lot of questions about this because, of course, they're in a very high-profile location, and it's been underway a couple years now, right there on South 6th Street, the site of the former Charlie R's, and before that, Gallagher's. You may have seen the shipping containers and the construction activity over there. If you remember, a few years back, they were actually converting that former Gallagher's building to reopen as a steakhouse, and then a fire pretty much wiped out everything on site other than one small building. And it was shortly after that, Kirk Jeffers, who's a commercial broker in town, purchased that property. He already owned several of the properties to the north, and he teamed up with Dave Matthews, who's a longtime chef and restaurateur. He's got El Taco Guapo out there at the marina. Is his current project,
which is fantastic, by the way.
Yes. And, Kirk's done a lot of traveling. And when you go to larger cities, you kind of see these shipping containers set up, sometimes for retail and sometimes for restaurants, but something new to Springfield. So Kirk decided to break some new ground, literally. And he's got 4 shipping containers on site. One is going to be ice cream, which is his personal hobby. One's going to be Texas-style barbecue, which is Dave's specialty. They're going to have Japanese with ramen bowls and sushi and pot stickers. And then the fourth shipping container will be a patio bar. Then they've also renovated that one building that they were able to salvage. They're going to have a limited amount of indoor seating, and they're also going to have a cafe with coffee and sandwiches and pastries and things like that. So been at it for a while. One of the challenges was that they were originally planning to use the 5 Flavors kitchen for the prep, but you may recall Chip Kennedy ended up moving out of town, selling 5 Flavors. So they ultimately had to construct their own kitchen, which wasn't part of the initial plan. But they are now probably 30 days away from being ready to open, kind of putting the finishing touches on everything. So stay tuned for that.
You know, the wife and I were just talking the other day. We drove by. We're like, what's going on there? I bet Michelle Ombie's going to let me know, because you guys have everything. You're aware of practically everything that goes on in the business community. That's what's so important. We got one more item to hit up here in a moment, but tell people how they can get their hands on all your expertise with the Springfield Business Journal.
Sure. Well, we send out our Biz Bites newsletter every Wednesday afternoon, and it's free of charge with a roundup of what's happening in the business community. You can go to our website at springfieldbusinessjournal.com and get signed up for that. And of course, you can also sign up to get the print edition delivered directly to your home or office.
Next item is something that we think there might be a lot of, but when you compare Illinois to other states that have legal cannabis, we actually have fewer brands than other states have that have legalized it. But we do have another brand, or at least a storefront, that's going to be opening up here in Springfield. Tell us about Share.
Right. So Share is the latest venture from Chris Stone, who, of course, is a very well-known name in the cannabis industry. Again, a very high-profile property, so a lot of people have probably seen the renovations underway. This is the old Magnolia Lane there on South 6th Street, Frontage Road in Southern View. You may remember Magnolia Lane relocated at the end of last year to the Yard Shopping Center. So Share is having a soft opening this Friday for the dispensary side of things. But there's actually about another 25,000 square feet of adjacent space that they are planning to develop into a cultivation center, so that eventually they will be selling locally produced cannabis products, both at Share and then also distributing those throughout the state. And as a side note, I will mention, that we've talked in the past about that former Steak and Shake property over in Prairie Crossing. That one's currently in the renovation process as well. That is an out-of-state company doing that, but they are shooting for a late November opening. So another one potentially coming within the next couple months here.
It'll be fascinating to see how all this comes together. Of course, we'll keep updated with the Springfield Business Journal and Michelle Ombie. Again, the Springfield Business Journal available for you to pick up. Michelle, give us those details one more time here.
Yep, if you just jump on the website at springfieldbusinessjournal.com, you can sign up for either the digital or print version.
All right, fantastic. Michelle Ombie, publisher of the Springfield Business Journal. Greatly appreciate it, and we'll talk again soon. Be safe.
All right, thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. All right, that is all I've